as Tulsi Gabbard tries to turn terror threats into must-see TV and racism joins the Mile High Club. So let's check in with the best cabinet ever in another installment of The Worst Wing.
What a bunch of losers.
One of the most heartwarming stories of the Trump administration so far has been the beautiful friendship between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, two men who had previously never had a friend. But today, that friendship got doged.
You're going to want to hear about this. Breaking moments ago, Elon Musk speaking out in a big way on the big, beautiful bill. He took to X a short time ago, writing, quote, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it."
Chainsaw! Oh no, not my two favorite people fighting. Don't make me choose who I love more. But yes, Elon is worried that Trump's bill will raise the deficit too high. And when Elon is worried about something getting too high, you know it's too high. And he may be right. But Elon has to be careful. You come out that hard against Trump's central legislative achievement, and you're going to be the first white person to get deported. But while you're shaming supporters of this bill, be sure to save a little shame for yourself, Elon. You're the one who spent $288 million getting Trump elected. You even showed whole to support him. Now, granted, the whole was a belly button, but still, whole is whole. But let's move on. Whole is whole. Let's move on to the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA if you're nasty. FEMA is always ready to come to the rescue, no matter what sort of disaster that mega bitch Mother Nature throws at us, like wildfires, tornadoes, sharknadoes, horny dolphin-nados. Those are the worst. But it turns out not everyone at FEMA is as prepared as they should be.
FEMA staff were apparently caught off guard on Monday when the disaster agency's new acting leader told them that he was previously unaware that the U.S. had a hurricane season.
The head of FEMA doesn't know what hurricane season is? I would expect Trump to hire someone who's not qualified to handle hurricanes, but to not even know when they come? I mean, it's almost like Trump picks his cabinet the way you select a jury. Do you have any opinions on hurricanes? Have you ever heard of hurricanes? No? Great, you're hired. This guy's the head of the Emergency Management Agency. He doesn't know about hurricane season? There's only like 3 emergencies in life you really need to know. There's hurricanes, wildfires, and when you're taking out the garbage and it starts dripping from the bottom of the bag. Those are only life's emergencies. But if that comment freaks you out, you're not alone. The administration had to come out and say, psych, I was joking.
A spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security tells CNN that the comment was made in jest.
Yeah, sure, it was a joke. It's a joke. You know, that reminds me of the time I, as a joke, shit my pants. And it was so funny to do that on that airplane. Everyone was laughing and loving it. Let's say he was actually joking about being a total dumbass. That doesn't make it better. The head of FEMA is a serious job. I don't want my EMTs to be like, okay, now, where do I push to make the heart beat again? Just kidding, I got it. Hey, wake up. So the head of FEMA is either an idiot who never heard of hurricane season or just an idiot. We may never know. But another new Trump appointee has been very clear about the fact that he has no idea what he's doing.
In a new audio recording, Social Security Commissioner Frank Bisignano reveals that he had no idea what the job entailed when it was offered to him.
I get a phone call, and it's about Social Security. So I'm Googling Social Security, you know, one of my great skills. I'm one of the great Googlers on the East Coast. I'm like, what the heck's the Commissioner of Social Security?
First of all, can you Google how to clear your throat, maybe? I mean, how do you not know what the Commissioner of Social Security does? He's the one who, you know, hands out the championship trophy at the end of the Social Security season. But don't. Yeah, you knew that. But don't worry, because he's one of the great Googlers. Now, not in the whole country, just the East Coast, but that's still a big population area. It's pretty cool that the guy who's in charge of a $1.2 trillion agency is using the same tool I use to look up the name of the one black guy in Maroon 5. What up, Peach? Now, at this point, you might be asking yourself, does anyone in this cabinet even know what their job is? Well, based on what Education Secretary Linda McMahon has been up to, still no.
Education Secretary Linda McMahon weighed in on Long Island's continuing mascot battle. She was in Massapequa yesterday. It's one of 13 districts fighting to keep Native American school nicknames and mascots. The state says if the mascots are not changed by June, funds will be withheld. But McMahon says the ban violates civil rights because names and mascots of other racial and ethnic groups are still allowed.
We reserve the right to turn over this investigation to the Department of Justice, because that's how serious we are about this.
Great use of your time, Education Secretary. China's schools are producing 1 million engineers a minute, but it's okay because our students will know how to do the tomahawk chop. Look, we can't keep having endless disputes about Native American mascots, especially when every mascot in Philly is clearly addicted to cocaine. I mean, the fanatic... The fanatic is like perfectly designed. Anyway, see, look, either we don't allow mascots at all anymore, or every mascot is an offensive ethnic stereotype, including white people. How about that? You know, the drunken Irish, okay? The horny Italians, the emotionally unavailable British, that kind of thing. The point is, when it comes to mascots, you can't make both liberals and conservatives happy unless all the Native American mascots are trans, and then everybody gets something. So, now, let's move on to Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence and woman who gives Snow White the poison apple and big... The audience loves Tulsi Gabbard. She's in charge of the president's daily brief, which is where the intelligence agencies gather all the top secret information they need to goad the president into a war with Iran. To defend our national interests. Of course, the problem with giving Donald Trump a PDB to read is that reading's not really his thing.
From inauguration till the end of May, he had, according to his public schedule, 14 PDBs.
14 PDBs since inauguration? What the hell? It's the daily brief. Daily means you're supposed to get it every day. Like, we're the Daily Show, and we're on the air 4 days a week. That's about example. Even President Biden had read 90 of them at this point, although, to be fair, it was really just 45. They had to read them to him twice. But obviously, the president not having a grasp of national security is a huge problem. But luckily, Tulsi Gabbard has a solution.
Tulsi Gabbard is considering bringing on a Fox News producer and a network personality to present the briefing, tailoring it to how the president actually prefers to consume information by watching Fox News.
Look, I love how Trump's people are like, we got to cut government spending. And also, we need $10 million for a fake TV show because the president can't read. Now, obviously, converting the brief into a Fox News broadcast won't be easy. To make it realistic, you have to cast someone who's had sexual harassment allegations. Then you're going to need to find time for the 36 ads for catheters. But still, at least Tulsi Gabbard is thinking outside the box here. And finally, we can get some Fox News people in the White House, aside from the Secretary of Transportation and the Secretary of Defense and the border czar, the Deputy Director of the FBI, the Deputy Special Envoy for Middle East Peace, the Senior Counsel to the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, and the Ambassador to Greece. Oh, I missed my kid's birthday. But look, I'm glad that Tulsi's trying something new. Although knowing Donald Trump, there is one other format that might work better than imitating Fox News.
Hello, Mrs. Stepmom. I have an extra large package for you.
Oh my, so big.
almost as big as the recent rocket deployment in the Kashmiri region.
Oh, God. That's so dangerous.
It could mean war. No, seriously, people could die.
We need to move assets out of the region and have a SEAL team on standby ready to launch an incursion.
Yeah, I'm about to launch an incursion so freaking deep.
Let me get out of this hot robe. I think this area needs a little special attention. It's a real hot zone, full of sectarian violence that threatens to explode without a meaningful peace process.
God, that's not the only thing that's about to explode. Yeah. There's also reports of Shahab 2 short-range ballistic missiles like this held by guerrilla groups.
Show me where.
There?
Yes.
Yeah, about here.
Yes, right there.
Yeah, right there.
Yes, yes. We have reports of an ISIS sleeper cell in Dallas.
Wait, we're in Dallas.
Oh, no. I have to wear my hot steps on.